Okay. The Civi Killer. Jesus Christ, that's one hell of a reference. We're Miranda and not you because I hate the Swiss. I hate the Swiss. See, if you've got a Mercy VOD. Yeah, you do. We could probably do both. Depends on how long this takes. We can probably speed through and do both. Why not? Should be good. Okay, right. So let's get started. Start saying hello to YouTube. Let's just get right into it, because I'm not feeling the greatest. So let's muscle on. Boom. Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. Today, as I hit the microphone, it is time to talk about Mercy, but not only Mercy. It's apparently time to talk about football as well. It's coming home. It is coming home. Croatia are actually pretty scary, so it should be a good match coming up. Anyway, right. We want to talk about Mercy. We want to talk about supports and Mercy in general. Like, despite what every single Mercy player on the planet would have you think, the continued nerfs to Mercy have not changed how Mercy operates in Overwatch. Okay, Mercy is still, as of recording, it's July 7th, so 0707.
Hello.
It is still a Mercy meta. Mercy is still the dominant support. You can definitely feel it when you don't have a Mercy on your team. It is frustrating as hell as Miranda goes through the profiles. Hey, we've got one open. I know some people like really upset about, oh, I don't know, like, I never feel safe, I never feel secure with private profiles, but you know, it's there. You just got to sort of deal with it. Stuff like this, right? This is still true. Mercy is pretty much played on every map, I think, at the highest level. The only times it wouldn't be played is when you're playing with like a quad tank setup, and even then you could run it with like a triple tank, triple support, and you could still probably get away with running Mercy. She is extremely good. Resurrect is, like I mentioned, time and time again, just to sort of have like vindication, basically for myself, and just say, hey, I fucking called it, guys. Res is a really good ability. Still having it is really powerful. Mercy is still like one of the best spot healers in the game. She is flexible, she is agile, she is powerful, she is good. Okay? Now, what does a good Mercy entail? What do you need to play Mercy well? Well, you know, the common answer is, oh, you need like really good positioning, you need really good sort of game knowledge, and that pretty much does ring true. Probably a little bit more so for Mercy than for a lot of other heroes. It does, you know, you have a lot of time to sort of think about what you're doing. It also, like, patience is what I'd say. Like, stuff like this. Do you see, like, I think Miranda even mentioned this in the email, like, there's a couple of instances where he could have been killed by a worse Widowmaker, a better Widowmaker, for example. Patience, this is, like, it's so nice to see this highlighted straight away. This Mei is a good example of patience. Of realizing that this Mei, to get to this Mei, you have to cross in front of the enemy team and then go to a more vulnerable position. You do it away from the barrier. The enemy team has a Widowmaker, so they land the shot as we go through here. And it's just a really nice demonstration of, you know, this is the cost of being impatient, where this could be a dead Mercy. And you guys, if this happens, if you die here, the enemy team pretty much wins this fight straight up. Even if you trade, even if they kill someone at the moment, yeah, you guys just lose because they get back from spawn faster than we do, and then they end up just winning. And I guarantee you, the moment Mercy dies, people will push hard. It's like the best signal. Notice that to get back to safety as well, after supporting this Mei, even though Lucio's going to pick her up, we have to cross the Widowmaker again. This is again the habit that I pointed out when, you know, this is 2.9k. This is very true for Platinum, somewhat true for Diamond, where people expect the enemy team to miss. This sort of motion will stop working the higher level you get. What should you do in this instance? If you're feeling really bold, then you have to just hug closer to the Reinhardt to make this movement. But honestly, I would just say, like, if you really want to get to this Mei, you'd have to go like this and play really close to the Rhine, so that you aren't getting vision over the barrier, basically. And that's risky for its own reason, because if the enemy team engages super hard, then that's tough. What I'd say is, like, leave this to the Lucio. Lucio is much better at picking stuff like this up. Like, this is the Lucio's job. Reinhardt even, like, jumps in and brings down his barrier. it should be like crossing this threshold across the point, like from here, leaving this area should be a very considered decision from you, and should be a very, very rare thing to do. Speed back, just a little bit healing. I like the triage. I like the fact that we sort of topped hands up a little bit, and then we focused our healing on the target in combat rather than the Hanzo. Good, just put healing on the Lucio. Good stuff.
Nice one.
Nice, good job.
Again, don't worry too much about the Mei. The Lucio can worry more about the Mei. We might want to res that. Reinhardt's barriering for it, so yeah, go across. Hug closer to the wall would be better. It still works out. Pump healing into the Rhine. Dash to him. Good, okay. We might want to consider Valking almost straight away here. So, as your ult charges, like, let's talk about Valkyrie, because Valkyrie is where people really struggle with Mercy. And I know after our 6-stack placements, like, Ryan had to play a lot of Mercy, for example, and Ryan was asking, like, I don't understand how we like use Valkyrie. Where do you use Valkyrie? Do you use it reactively? Do you use it proactively? How do you do that? And so what you want is the what you want to keep in mind is that Valkyrie is not an ultimate that is good at beating stuff like, you know, Dragon Blade. It isn't good at beating stuff like even Earth Shatter. It will struggle with. It will struggle definitely with Graviton Surge, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't actually win that. What Valkyrie does is if you have a fight, and like I always picture a fight as like a balance of scales, right? Okay, so it's like a scale. And the fight is relatively even, and it's like, this is us, A for allies, E for enemies. And the enemies are slowly winning. Winning is measured by going down, I suppose, in this one, and we're like teetering upwards. Then if you Valkyrie, suddenly you insert like a huge amount of pressure, and we end up winning, right? It's like a huge swing in the fight. It's not enough to beat ultimates, but it is enough to win a fight, if that makes sense. Like, it almost forces the enemy team to start committing more resources of their own. It's a relatively minor thing to commit, and like this is a good example of like...
Shield me once. I got...
this is a good example of like where the Valkyrie can start working. Waiting for that dragon to ride out, and then, okay, well this is now really scary. The way that you can actually fix this is you can ask, like, if you're in voice and if you're willing to speak up, you say, Zari, do you have a bubble? You Valkyrie, go in, res this with the bubble, and then you'll be fine. And then you fly back up and you heal everyone. That is a very difficult play to do.
Zarya,
it's somewhat possible.
You
you could go for it now that the enemy team is sort of pulled out of line of sight, and this guy's pulling this way. You can actually use the Valkyrie to cover a res. And picking up the Reinhardt here would be a big swing in the fight. So it is like a very typical, like, this is perfect timing. Because the thing with Valkyrie is this. If you have it, you should probably be using it. Especially if your team is like losing a fight. Yeah. And you should think about it in terms of like, if you come out of a fight that you guys lost, and it wasn't lost due to them using a big ultimate combo, and you have Valkyrie, you probably fucked up. You probably made a mistake there, and you should have probably used it a little bit earlier. Like Joe says, Lucio could deal with that, and then Lucio dies. Yeah, it happens. The thing is, Lucio dying is not a big deal, especially in that position.
Nice pick, Hanzo.
So this is the tilt part of this VOD. The Reinhardt is like, the Reinhardt's basically whining like a, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it this? There we go. So the Reinhardt is basically,
shield me.
Here we go. Let's listen in.
Zarya, can you please shield me once? I got not one fucking shield.
Genji's behind you, with that.
And so this Reinhardt is going to get increasingly worse, judging from the email. He is going to get very, very whiny. Very, very whiny. Apparently. The important thing to realize with tilt is understanding what we can impact.
Shields all the time. Then I can go for pressure.
And what they, like, what can you actually do? What can you realistically do in these situations? The answer is probably not much. It's sort of like you almost have to like de-escalate it in your own head. Stuff like this, like what I call like a micro compliment. Micro compliments are like, just nice pick, stuff like that. Very quick, easy to say stuff. So if Hanzo, manages to get a kill, okay, nice job. Stuff like that. It is generally a good way of just keeping team spirit up a little bit. You can play relatively close here, especially with the Hanzo dead and the Lucio on the high ground. You can afford to play some aggro.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
Hey!
Can't wait for probing the many for
Yeah,
playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it.
Love
Playoffs
your
should be good.
streams, Josh. Love.
So they're looking. So the thing to consider here, and the thing that I will be keeping my eye on more than anything, is their Reinhardt and their Zarya. The behavior of the Reinhardt tells me. Do you know what told me that he has an Earth Shatter? A, he's been winning. B, it's like when he did like this move forward, this motion here. This is an aggressive Reinhardt. This is a Reinhardt that is perhaps looking to push past your Reinhardt and try and Earth Shatter you. We need to be very aware of this fact. And so playing around the corner, for example, could be safer, and an early Valkyrie, again, could be a huge benefit here. Like, Valking now would actually be okay, I think. It sounds weird to say, it's slightly risky, but it will stall up this push, and basically you can continue holding this choke while your Hanzo gets back. Like, notice that we've been holding onto this Valk for a long time, and we kind of haven't needed to. So this is that sort of case, again, where it feels like, Valkyrie doesn't have, like, clear signals of when you should use it and when you shouldn't use it. And the big thing is, like, it's not a Transcendence. It's not a sound barrier as well. Like, sound barrier, if Genji pulls out a Dragon Blade, you sound barrier. It's obvious. It's really obvious when you Transcendence. Like, Graviton Surge goes in, okay, I'll trance it. Valkyrie doesn't have those clear signals, so it's about like reading the tempo of a fight and reading what's happening in the fight accurately enough so that you use it early enough to where you can really make a difference with it. You have choices available to you at this moment here. Like here, you could honestly, if you're feeling super spicy, you can Valk, go up, go through, and pick up this Hanzo, and then bounce back to your team. That is actually a play available to you. The Hanzo died to a right-click from Zen from the ground. This is a bit hard to read, but honestly, you could go up there, and with your blaster and your regen, you could probably clear the top, if necessary, and then push and pick Hanzo up, and then get back to the team. Like, this is an option. It sounds crazy, but it is an option. If you're not going for that option, then you just got to read like what the enemy team's going for. Okay, now they're pushing. Well, the thing that I have to be concerned about here is Earth Shatter and Graviton Surge. I should probably not be on the floor. So going up here is going to be very powerful. You'll be able to keep these two tanks alive in this choke point for a while, and it slows down their push even further for a relatively cheap resource. Valkyrie is pretty cheap. Especially after this Earth Shatter goes through, you're thinking like, okay, well they're like the first thing that a Reinhardt looks for after a whiff, after blocking an enemy shatter, is either a charge or a shatter of his own. And then now it's just too late. And like the healing we could have provided with Valkyrie would have made the difference there, I think. Swiss Bootio in chat. I mean, I still fuck up Valk a lot, but most of the time you can rebuild it pretty fast, so it's better used than sorry. Yes, that's the mentality I think you should have with Valk. Is that you should be using it. If you use it and you didn't need it, that's one thing. If you use it and you needed it, then you've just lost a fight, and honestly, it's a fast charging ultimate. It's no big deal. People, like, if you misuse Transcendence, people fucking rage, but if you misuse Valkyrie, people are kind of eh. And you can generally get something with it. Like, if the enemy team suddenly backed off when you Valk, you can go and pick up the Hanzo for free. Now we're gonna die. And so the ult usage so far is sort of the biggest concern. That was just, again, this is the wages of having Lucio Mercy. If you have Zen Mercy, and you had a Transcendence for that, and then you Valkyrie, in the Graviton, that would actually be fine. The Shadow was a waste? Yes, it was. It sounds like a weird thing to say, but this is how you can beat this combo. Is if they go in with this, and you have Transcendence and you Valkyrie at the same time, you'll be healing everybody, and Transcendence will be healing everybody, and then you can actually beat out the Dragon Strike even with the Mercy damage on the opposite side. Which I don't think they have, do they? Yeah, you beat it out regardless of the trance, but just keeping it safe as well. Like, they have a Reinhardt in your face, a Genji, there's enough damage there to make it scary. It would be fine. I'm not the biggest fan of the Mei pick. I will remain not a fan of Mei picks for a while. Very similar to my opinions on Sombra. Like, what May brings to a fight isn't as useful as just being able to kill people. You need to heal this Reinhardt, yes. This is just sloppy from us. Like, we register that there's a threat, like you spot the threat of someone shooting you in the back, you can't just leave your, like, this is your job. And I know in the email it said, like, oh, the Reinhardt was salty, and there were a couple of instances where I didn't heal him. Like, don't let his salt lead you to making bad decisions, because A, that just makes him saltier, which isn't good for your team. It's rough. It's like, this, maintaining tank hit points is a big part of your job. You should, like, you are there for, you know, Mercy is very good for healing low hit points. So it's people who are like, you know, sub 100 hit points, you should be healing those guys as quickly as possible, just because you provide a lot of healing. And then healing tanks. Mercy's really good at it. Right, you can consistently heal tanks a lot. I don't know what this is. But yeah, you can heal tanks a huge amount, and it's a very, very important idea. My handwriting is abysmal, by the way. It doesn't look any better in reality in terms of, like, writing on a piece of paper. So yeah, like, we should be doing this. We should be doing this. And I know we're nervous about getting shot from behind, but the fact that we're not is a big problem. This is an instance where Valkyrie, again, would be okay. Like, the fact that we aren't using this ability, and, like, even if you're going for a res, like, Valkyrie will cover you during the res. We should be using it.
Stop that useless ice walls, please.
Now we don't need it anymore.
Hanzo's behind us on top.
Now we could use it. Now you can use it. Again, an opportunity sort of going past. You see everybody is taking damage. We haven't used this Valkyrie at all.
So deep, like, we don't need to do that.
And, you know, we can say that, oh, this is an overextension by the team. I don't think it is. I don't think this is actually a full overextension. I think it's a problem that no one is dealing with the Hanzo. I agree that that is an issue. But your team can actually continue fighting this and, like,
Hanzo's behind us on
beat
top.
this out. Also, as chat is shouting, go Battle Mercy, come on. You could try and do that. But to me, the signal to use Valkyrie is the fact that Coalescence comes out, and people are still on, like, half hit points. So if you activate Valkyrie, you're suddenly healing all of these people for, like, plus 50 hit points per second. Right? So you pretty much instantly nullify the Coalescence in terms of its damage output. You're safer, because, like, the Hanzo is way less likely to hit you. And you can probably go and shoot at him after the fight's done. Notice that we've had this the entire game. Had this the entire game.
Don't need to do that.
60 hit points per second on Mercy. I thought it was 50. I know it's 70 DPS on Coalescence, but Coalescence is not 100% accurate, so you can generally out-heal it. Again, a lot of people taking damage. Like, this is genuinely concerning to me, because I'm seeing, like, there's so many moments where it's like, this is where we Valk. So it's like, you're watching this, you're watching this, you're watching this. So if you go back, and, like, the start of this next part of the fight when your team regroups.
Why are we going so deep? Like, we don't need to do that.
I know it's 60 because it's the same as damage Winston does. I thought Winston did 50 DPS. Maybe I'm just the idiot. So yeah, it's like you're waiting. People are okay, people aren't okay. Like, you got a main target on half hit points, everyone's taken some damage, you've taken some damage. Not Coalescence, Valkyrie. Like, now's the time to Val. And you got to remember this, like, because you can come back at me right now and say, oh, but we won this team fight, so we didn't need to Valkyrie. This is the way, just like, everyone is so low at this point. If Doomfist lands a few more hits, someone dies. If their Hanzo lands an arrow, someone dies. If Reinhardt lands a fire strike, someone dies. This team fight could change on a dime, an absolute dime. And so what you need is, you need to realize that, like, it's almost like an insurance. It's just going, yeah, we're winning this team fight. And so you commit the Valkyrie, and then you get to win the team fight. Like, without fear. It makes everything you're doing safer. It makes everything your team is trying to do easier for a very cheap cost.
Nice shot.
Valkyrie is super cheap. Okay then. If I don't see a Valkyrie soon, I'm gonna go friggin' apeshit. You could even use it early on this fight as they start coming around the corner. Like now. Now, we'll be fine. Definitely now will be absolutely okay. Way! We did it! We did it, Mom! We did it, Mom! It kind of paid off, to be honest. Kind of paid off, because they committed their full combo. Now, they're probably still going to push and probably win off the back of this combo, but at least push them to do that. But, like, why, you know, why am I saying these things? Why am I pointing this out? Just to reiterate for, like, the millionth time. So it's like, team's okay, we can manage this. This is manageable. Now, again, consider the threats ahead of us. We have a Graviton Surge to be scared of. We have Doomfist to be scared of. We have a lot of threats. If we, like, the thing with Valkyrie as well is it just makes you so safe. It makes it very difficult for those threats to actually impact you on an individual level. People suddenly start taking a lot of damage, and once Doomfist starts charging in like this, he is committed to an engagement. So you're basically, the enemy team's going, okay, this is the start of the fight. And, like, you know, I talk about this a lot, the idea of the fight and how pros especially are better at this than pretty much everybody. Is thinking about, like, pros think in terms of the fight. And you should too. It's a very important idea. Okay? And the big thing to realize is, like, you have downtime, which you will represent with blue, because it's a nice peaceful color. And then you're going to have moments where we'll use yellow, where it's the fight. And so Overwatch tends to flow like this, where you have short moments of downtime between fights, and then you have the fight, and then you have a moment afterwards where you get some push on the payload or the enemy team regroups, and then you sort of go over it again where, like, you know, it's not quite this simple. Like, this tends to, like, be like looking for picks, so you end up with these, like, these interim moments where you're looking for an engagement, and, like, picks can happen and things like that. So, like, this is poking and harassment, and then you have the fight. And the big thing as Mercy is to realize, when does the fight begin? Because once the fight has begun, then Valkyrieing is fine, right? Because then you're already healing everybody up. Your team has a massive advantage. I'd say the moment this Doomfist engages, the fight has begun. This is, and, like, you can hear the coalescence going off as well. Doomfist is engaged. Coalescence is going. The fight has begun. So we need to react to the fight. Now, Valkyrie lasts a freaking long time. Overwatch, Valkyrie, duration. So I type super loudly. It's 15 seconds, I do believe, after the nerf. Yes, lasts 15 seconds. 15 seconds is still a fucking long time. It's a very long time. So let's put it this way. If you Valkyrie, your team kills Doomfist, and the enemy team backs off for 15 seconds, and they use, well, Doomfist died, Coalescence went off, and you just won that fight on the back of a single Valkyrie, that's worth. That is 100% worth. Okay? You traded Coalescence, and your team got a very clean teamfight win, so the enemy team didn't build up any ultimate charge. Your team didn't lose anything or use anything except for the Valkyrie. That is an absolute win. Absolute win in terms of economics. So we shouldn't be afraid to use it very early in these fights, because putting, like, it basically, the way that I think of Valkyrie is, instead of thinking of it like, oh, well, you know, I'm floating around and I put a heal beam and the heal beam splits. Let's use yellow. So I'm floating around and, oh, I put healing here and it splits, right? Oh, isn't that cool? Don't think of it like that. Think of it like this, where this little ball here, this is Mercy, and you heal him and you heal her, and think of it like this instead. Suddenly, everybody has a Mercy on them. Everybody has a Mercy on them. It's really good. It's as if you freaking cloned yourself 5 times and you're healing everybody else and yourself as well, and keeping yourself safe in the air. You're going to be very difficult. Like, Graviton Surge isn't going to affect you. Graviton Surge isn't going to bother you. Earth Shadow's not going to bother you. Hanzo's going to have a hard time hitting you. Doomfist can't harass you. It's so safe. It's so safe for 15 seconds. 15 seconds. That's a long time in Overwatch. It's a very long time. Like, let's count out what's happening in 15 seconds. Okay? See what happens by 2:30. Game state right now is team fight's a bit iffy. And by 2:30, they have won the team fight. That's 15 seconds. That's the duration of 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, your team will die. Everybody could have had a personal mercy during that 15 seconds. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And it's definitely like the biggest weakness in our play is just not using this resource. Or using it too late, or not understanding how important it is to get it working early. This is actually a decent res. It was worth the shot. It's worth the attempt. You get a little bit unlucky. Like, the Zarya should have body blocked a little bit better for you. But yeah, like, it's worth doing. That was actually okay. Because if you got the Reinhardt off, and you almost did, then you got the Reinhardt off. If you get the Reinhardt up, it will make a huge difference here on this stall. Swapping to Moira here would not be a bad idea, however. She's got a better rollout.
Well, can we maybe have not Lucio as not have a May and play a normal comp?
Maybe May is doing well and this team is shit.
Yeah, dude, your May is awful, dude, for real.
Maybe we just calm down. And try to win the
Absolutely
game.
awful.
Like, it's
You never split the team. Never. I see not one good wall. I'm
There's
fine
the
if you
tilt.
play May, but dude, then do your fucking job and don't tell us May is good and the rest is shit. You're the biggest failure in this team.
Can we just calm down, maybe?
Yeah, the point, can't split once.
So, let's talk about conflict resolution. It is very difficult to calm someone down by telling someone to calm down. It's really I do like this is actually perfect as well. So very nicely found in the quotes. Telling people that they suck and can't is guaranteed to make them play better. So don't get me wrong. The Reinhardt is fucking up here. He is like just so frustrating. If you win the fight with Valk's up, shouldn't you leave their health alone and heal up after Valk for ult charge? That's like ridiculously advanced and ridiculously risky. I'd just say no in general. Just like heal everyone up, because the last thing you want is like, okay, well you Valk, and then it's like, oh well, we won the team fight. The enemy team's backing off, and then Hanzo headshot someone. Well, not Hanzo body shot someone, and they die, and you go. And they go, Mercy, why did you stop healing? And you go, oh, well, I was gonna try and build ult charge on you after the fight. And then they push in, and then they win the fight because your Valkyries run out, you are out of resources, and you're one person down. Just heal them up. It's sensible. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Russia's in the semis? Oh my god! Is it penalties? Or is it still penalties, or are Russia in the semis? So yeah, don't do that. Anyway,
not one time.
The thing I would be saying,
Maybe you your eyes.
Yeah, whatever.
the thing that I would honestly do at this point is, again, realize what you can influence and what you can't influence. This guy, because he's tilted, he's like at a, he's 45 degrees. He is on he's playing like this at the moment. He is just gone. The best thing to do at this point would just go, well, he's tilted, let's just mute him and move on. And honestly, you just tell the team, yeah, just mute him and move on. Like, if he's just going to complain, it's just a matter of like, yeah, mute him, get on with your life, go ahead. It's an isosceles triangle. Yeah, except it's like so tilted, the isosceles triangle looks like this. Right, this is an isosceles triangle. It's about right, actually. It's not too bad. It's not too far off, I think. The angles look about the same. I'm sure someone at home with a protractor, actually, I think you'll find that this is 32 degrees and this one is 34. So technically it is not an isosceles triangle. Anyway.
Ja, dann spiel doch ordentlich, ey. Hör auf, so scheiße zu spielen.
Oh, I understood the word scheiße.
Wie wär's, wenn du mein Dick sagst, hä?
Dein Kindergartendick oder was? 2 Zentimeter schmecken mir nicht, sorry.
They've all gone full German. We have left the voice chat. Wise. Honestly, very wise. If they're not going to say anything of use, leave. Like, you can leave it or you can just mute the guilty parties. Either way. Like, leaving, I think, makes a statement because it, like, says, hey, like, I'm out of voice chat now. Like, I am not going to be in the voice chat. it is the best piece of advice I can give you in Overwatch is that if you don't want to listen to someone, don't listen to them. You don't have to do it. Also, just, you know, don't give them commendations or any shit like that as well. Because in like 4 months' time, when everyone else is rocking a rank 5 and they are on rank 1 or 2, and people go, huh, and he goes, huh, I might be an asshole. Looking at this team comp, double sniper, with, well, triple sniper, with no main tank. This is going to be rough. The entire team is now at like a 70-degree angle. This is the team at this point. It's pretty bad. Tracer Wars area. Okay. This is why, by the way, I am a firm believer in you don't try and calm people down. You try and get people to disengage. Like, to me, if, you know, again, I can give you more advice, which, you know, you're watching Coach in the Many, of course you're looking for my advice. It's don't look to de-escalate, look to disengage. De-escalation takes a lot of work, and it takes, like, it's not as simple as saying calm down, because nothing aggravates people more than saying calm down, because, like, I know my reaction is generally I want to explain myself, and in explaining myself, people get more frustrated and want to argue with me, and it's like, you know, then an argument sort of goes on and 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 on. At a certain point, you just got to kind of take a deep breath and just go, you know, just drop it, just focus, let's play. If this guy wants to do nothing but play Mei, it's super freaking frustrating, but you have tools to avoid him, so you just, you know, if this guy wants to do so, he just goes avoid, and then he doesn't have to play with this Mei next game. If this Mei is a bad Mei, sub-platinum, then they'll drop to gold, and they'll continue on the drop. So yeah, that's sort of what you have to rely on and hope for. Whether that actually manifests, we don't know. Never feels like it, but that's sort of the hope that you hold on to. Definitely don't want to try and follow the Tracer too much there. Just try and provide healing on what you can. The Hanzo damage amp is a-okay, being honest. It's spicy, but I like it. I'm fine with us just going for that. If we can't get it, we can't get it. If we can get it, we can get it. Good movement, just to move towards your teammates. It's unfortunate that they didn't react. But this movement is actually something I'm quite happy to see. Too many Mercies, like, will panic and just, like, back off or back away. We move towards our team. The hope there is that the team protects you a little bit. Doesn't manifest this time, but...
Like, zero awareness.
The thing about Plat is that, you know, there's so many players that you'll probably not meet these guys again. Probably true as well. That's it. If you're playing in the same play session, what I'd say is you probably should avoid them regardless. And then, like, the next day you can just take them off the avoid list if you need to. You probably won't meet them again. It's fine. I like this movement, just letting our regen kick in. This is a little bit bold. We should not have stopped that dash there. Like, think about where all the cover is. We just, like, we are beautifully placed, equidistant from all the major sources of cover that could be protecting us. The D is the same on all of them. We all know that is a D. This D is a little bit malformed. Feels bad, man. Yeah. Like, just sort of perfectly left ourselves in the perfect storm of no cover. Don't want to be doing that, where possible. I just want to point out Valkyrie building up pretty quick. Damage amp, nice. She'll probably try and follow into the high ground where possible, but doesn't manifest. We're doing the best we can. We're doing a bit of an overshoot there. Valkyrie, that's fine. Good. Doesn't feel like it, but I'd say that was the correct decision. Just back out. There's too many dead. I think that was the correct decision. It doesn't manifest, but like, the fight is still ongoing, and with the information we have at this moment, this is still kind of a winnable fight. This guy's probably going to die regardless, but then the Dragon comes in, guarantees it. We almost save him. The Dragon Strike comes out, Rally comes out. They commit Dragon Strike, Rally. We committed Valkyrie and a Dragon Strike of our own. Then yeah, you just got to realize that, yeah, 2 people are dead. You can't res either of them. If you go and save the Widowmaker, it's still not going to make a huge difference. You might as well just regroup. Lul. Lul. This is frustrating. What's annoying is, like, I don't like the fact that this guy is, like, you know, this guy saying, sorry, dude. If he was sorry, he would be fucking manning up and playing Reinhardt still. And I know it's frustrating, but it's like, throwing harder because you feel that someone is throwing isn't a good reason, isn't a good excuse. I know the feeling of it. I know the pain of playing and feeling like, well, I'm trying super hard. Why aren't other people trying super hard? But like, if you started the game as main tank, and especially if you're a tank player, then it's like, just focus on playing your tank game. I would not go for the res there. Let me explain why. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just more of a flavor thing, a decision thing, I suppose. She's got about like a quarter left. So if you consider the amount of time and risk, like, these guys have a pretty clear avenue to you, as far as we're aware. There's like the Mei that's going to slow them down a little bit, but otherwise they can get to you pretty easily. We're kind of out in the open. If you're going to res this, you probably want to get into the hotel, and even that isn't safe because they could be around the back. So we don't know exactly what's going on past there. Tracer gets back to the fight super quickly. Like, Tracer is pretty low priority in terms of resing, so, like, by the time we res her, she would have respawned. She'd be back in the fight probably about now. So it wouldn't make it the hugest difference. Hey, just keep healing him. Remember what I said about Coalescence not being 100% accurate? I think the Lucio just stopped there. I feel like King's Row is a pain point in this map. Really bad games on this map for me as well. It's a double sniper map, so it's going to be difficult. So this, I think this is a mixture of the enemy team like trying to tilt it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Mei's not playing well. You know, the Mei is not playing great, but let's break down other people's behavior. So this guy is just trying to tilt the enemy team. This guy is bandwagoning. This is an effect that I saw a lot in League of Legends. It's more prevalent in MOBAs because it's easier to see because you generally have statistics and stuff to sort of really heavily emphasize what you say. So what will happen in MOBAs is you will have like a scoreboard, and then it'll list a bunch of numbers, like it'll say, let's say like 4, 70, 64, 80, and 20. And then the enemy team will have theirs. And so like this, this is like creep score, CS. And like this is the support, this is your main carry, or like this is mid, this is top, and this is your main carry. And then this is your jungler, like let's say it's League. And then the enemy team has like similar, but their main, like it's the same numbers across the board except for this guy has like 90. Well, what will happen is these guys will all go, well, he's clearly below this guy, and we're losing the game, so we have demonstratively better scores than him, so we'll all go and pick on him, regardless of what's happening. They'll all just go, okay, well, he's the problem. We've identified that he is the problem, he is the lowest score, he is the big issue. And then they'll just go, like, and people, like, you know, maybe top lane could be doing better. Top lane's, like, even, but maybe starting to fall behind. Maybe like this is on 75, for example, instead of 70. But, you know, this is a bigger difference. So, okay, well, bottom lane's fucking throwing. Never mind the bottom lane might have been ganked more. Bottom lane might have had a worse starting lane, stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it. But people, like, go, well, if it's this guy's fault, it's not my fault. And so when someone gets picked on, other people will start going onto that person and go, well, it can't be my fault if it's his fault. And it's that mentality that is really, really dangerous and really, really scary. You've just got to be really cautious about it. This would be a fine time for Val. Yeah, a little bit too late. So again, fight is joined, and I'd say like the moment Valk comes up here, you could probably go, because like fight is well and truly underway. Valking during a fight is fine, and by the time we Valk, the actual animation of Valking lets Hanzo die. Just kind of feels bad, man. Then notice that we can get these reses off during this time, especially after a Brig has used their abilities. Fresh out the Widow. I'd say one thing to keep in mind, be very careful if you're going to drift like this, but look this way. Don't look at the people below you. You don't actually have to look at them. Just like, you know that you're going to be healing this guy for a while, so you put the heal on him and you turn and you look where Widowmaker was. Because this is asking, please headshot me, Widow. Please just kill me. I am a moving target for you to practice on in the sky. So yeah. I think it was Emong who said that, but he says while the game is still while the game is still going, he always assumes it's his fault and thinks about what he could be doing better next push.
Easy.
Well, analyzing the VOD later, you can blame teammates, but not mid-match. That's a really good mentality. It's the reason why that mentality is so good is, again, it's about what you can affect and what you can't affect. Like, a personal tilting point for me, and just to like extrapolate on this point, is when people go. And, like, I realize that I fall into this sometimes, especially around Hanzo. Like, you don't want to fall into the pattern of being in-game and going, man, this is such bullshit. Like, Hanzo is overpowered. Oh my god, what the fuck? Ah, this is so unfair. Because you can't change that. You cannot influence that yourself. You have no impact on... You complaining about that is not going to change the power level of Hanzo. You can't actually deal with that by going, oh, well, he's so overpowered. Oh, I can't believe Mercy's so overpowered. Oh, she just reses everybody I kill. You can't fix that. What you can do is you can go, well, their Hanzo is really good and kicking the shit out of me. I need to change how I'm playing. Or their Mercy's getting these reses off constantly. Maybe we need to pressure her more. Or they're getting these ult combos off. It's not the combo, like, you can think, oh, well, the Graviton Surge, Dragon Strike combo is overpowered, but if they land it continuously and they're still winning, that's a problem. And you can try and solve that. You can either solve that by playing in a different way. You can pressure the Zarya a lot, for example. Maybe the team composition you're running isn't good. Maybe you just run the same thing and run it better. If your Zarya and Hanzo are doing more damage than their Zarya Hanzo, you'll win. So it's like... It's realizing that in the game, in the heat of the moment, the only thing you can really impact is your own play and a small degree your teammates. The better you know your teammates, the more you can have an influence on it. But in general, it's mostly just yourself. And so if you focus internally, then it's going to be a lot easier to sort of think and play properly than, you know, putting the blame elsewhere. Then afterwards, if you look and you go, man, Reinhardt really was out of position every single time. I can't do anything about that, and yeah. So yeah, like, we couldn't do anything about that, for example. That's a pretty substantial resources used, though, for a spawn camp. Oh god, they even have the ugly Tracer skin. I forgot that was in the game for a while. Good lord. The bomb looks nice, but everything else looks terrible. We now have a Doomfist. Again, don't go for the heal on him. Patience. Like, this is so risky.
Yeah, oh my god.
Remember what I said at the start? Mercy's largely about patience. It's realizing that if this guy wants healing, he can fucking step over here, and then you can heal him. Because you know that's safe. Crossing in front of the entire enemy team to heal him is not safe. We can't do that. If he wants to bitch, he can bitch. This might be the Zen player inside Miranda, sort of wanting to desperately break out. But yeah, we can't get away with this as Mercy. Like, the moment they... And, like, think about what the enemy team saw. Just to, like, put this really heavily into context. Think about what the enemy team saw. They know that... Like, they saw Doomfist bounce out on low hit points. And then they saw a Mercy go in after him. Well, of course they're going to push in. Of course they're going to go for that. So yeah, like,
Oh my god.
the moment the enemy team saw that, like, if you were playing on that team, you'd go, oh, go push that, kill that. Did you give Tracer an actual Beowulf costume for Halloween? For summer games, they need to have they need a voice line of "It's coming out." The thing is, will they be able to do it in like the sing-songy way?
No.
I can feel the despair through the screen, and like. This is a game that's devolved into pure anarchy, by the way. Like, there's nothing you can do about this. Like, I wonder if you'd be able to go like, "It's coming home." Something like, I don't know. It'll be really difficult. You should probably initiate with a Valkyrie here. Like you could Valk now. Because your team, again, the fight has started. It will be fine. Again, it's not a big resource. Like, matching a Coalescence with Valkyrie is a-okay. Can't believe we are damage jumping a Lucio. Nice. Okay. This means England versus Croatia should be a good match. Should be a really good match. It's fine though, we'll win. We'll beat them. Never forget, it's coming home. Go stand by the payload. Extra regen, extra healing. We need to stay on it. Feels bad, man. Feels real bad, man. So, like, honestly, I'd probably report both of these people. They just made it really worse. It's just like that shit. Like, delete the game. Uninstall. Oh my god, this is still going. How did the enemy not win this? What the frig did they do to... Platinum, man, I swear. I swear. Again, I'd say you'll be fine Valking. Pretty much straight away. It also, like... Just want to point out, like, the thing that Valk can do as well is that you can, like, drift around the top of the payload and continue to hold it while other people are, like, doing stuff. Like, the moment the guy ulted, like, that's fear, that's terror.
I don't even know what we're doing.
Do not be afraid to use it early.
Oh.
I'm sure endorsements go flying out thick and fast this game. Select a teammate to endorse. Like, I would not even looking at our team to endorse them. It's like we're just looking at the enemy team.
Oh, just said that.
Oh, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Right, there's another game we can look at, so we shall do so, because we have time for it. Ah, it's so warm. It's the wrong email. No. We have your flight confirmed. Yes, yes. I'm going to the Overwatch League finals, boys and girls. Feels good, man. Let's see. Bootio. I want to point something out. I wish I could do this while, like, hiding all your info. Your email's missing something kind of important, and this happens quite a lot. So what I'll say is, like, now's probably a better time for questions more than anything, because he's managed to forget to include the video. This happens surprisingly often. If I can review his footage, there's no video here. I'm not going to show your email on stream, but I am going to name and shame. You numpty. You absolute numpty. Oh, he's got a link. There we go. How hot is it in the UK right now? Freaking boiling alive. Good boy. Ooh, Rialto. Oh, we can do it manually. It is ridiculous. Going to sightsee in New York? Probably not. Like, I'll be there. I fly out on the 25th. And then I'm there for the 26th, 27th, 28th. And then I think I'll fly back on the 29th. So I don't think there'll be too much sightseeing. How hot is boiling alive out of curiosity? I would check, but actually, I can do it over here. It's currently 22 degrees, but it feels a lot hotter in here at the moment. A lot hotter than 22 in here. It's very stuffy. It's like there's no airflow in here at the moment. So I am sweating like a hog.
Okay,
Well,
here I am.
oh god. That, I believe, is on the VOD. Discord noises. Also, it wants me to watch a PewDiePie video, apparently. Or a video about PewDiePie. I could not give less of a shit if I tried. Rialto's a weird one. I'll say this much for Rialto. Kind of unusual not to see an Orisa at the start of the map. Orisa's actually really good here. Just because you get a lot of pulls. Pharah's actually pretty cool as well. A lot of boops. Definitely help out your other supports. It's a good start. That's, again, I think on VOD or on me. I don't know. I'm not checking. Oh my god. So yeah, we do have an Orisa, but she's just set up in a really shit location. What is she doing? Okay. How do you defend first point Dorado? Dorado, Rialto. They sound very similar to my poor English fried brain. You do not do it from down here. We have actually Orisa Reinhardt. Okay. You do not defend from down here. Contrary to what these people think. You defend from up here. And you only do it for a couple of moments. You try and halt someone off here. You shoot down for a bit. You do a bit of spam. It's very much like Dorado first point because you know you're on this overlook, and then you'll peel back, and then you'll try and hold the first corner. Like not this corner, the one afterwards. You can try and hold here, but it leaves you so vulnerable to this flank that we're going to see happen. Where the McCree went round the back, and then yeah, that's in VOD. I apologise, I can't fix it. And then yeah, the McCree comes in behind, just nails everyone. Feels bad, man. That's why you don't defend from there. Because that pathway exists. Also, before like a bunch of Americans say, oh my god, 22, that's not hot. It's like 3 billion degrees where I am with my house that's made literally out of paper, has gigantic windows and air conditioning. My house is made out of bricks. Great big fuck off bricks. With insulation everywhere, and double glazing, and tiny little windows, and no aircon. It boils us alive. It's very, very funny, like, when you see Americans come over to Europe, especially, you know, places like the UK that are colder, and then it's summer, and it goes, oh my god, it's so hot. And it's like, yeah, it's because our buildings insulate heat. They are made to insulate heat.
McCree behind.
We're kind of reacting to it, just pointing it out as well and like suppressing it. The thing with this flank, like the Zen doing this is actually good enough. The thing with this flank, the vulnerable part of this flank is if you draw a quick schematic of it. So like if this is their spawn, you have like a pathway here, and it like leads over a bridge, and it's like a pathway that goes out here. Then you have like, so this would be the courtyard here, so like there'll be a door like here, and like a door here I guess, and then like the corner here, and then like the main bridge here, right? And you have like a bridge across here. This pathway here is like a super straight line. There's like no cover on it, so having a Zen fire down it is actually pretty powerful, because you're super vulnerable going across it.
Oh. He ran away.
Guess UK is colder in the winters. Yeah. It doesn't get super cold, but like the way that we heat our homes is generally just by like insulation and shit. This is slightly risky, but we could probably get away with it. Especially with the Zen helping us, which is good. Doing a relatively good job holding here, but like this is not viable to hold for a long time. Valkyrie here would actually be okay. So again, if we think about the fight, this is an instant, an instantaneous like, hey, the fight has begun, the fight is going. Hey, Banshee! Banshee 420, beautiful. Beauty really is a fan of going for risky reses, yes, I remember. This one isn't, like, this one here is not super risky. Like, remember what I was saying about there being no cover? Like, the McCree is kind of vulnerable if he wants to try and contest this. We actually have some cover from this side by going on the inside. And, like, the McCree can't really do a huge amount here. He lands 2 shots, but he can't get the third, and so we're okay. Thank you, Banshee420, for the 2 months. It's very appreciated. Yeah, past that, like, once this dragon comes out, like, Dragon Strike is actually a good hallmark for, like, okay, I should probably Valkyrie here. The reason is Dragon Strike very rarely just kills people outright, especially, like, tanks. So you'll see it here, where, like, Reinhardt's, like, in the middle of it, right? And yet, with a little bit of healing, he manages to survive.
He's still behind.
But we can't maintain healing on him. But if we had our Valkyrie up and running, we could probably actually maintain the healing on that. Don't, for the love of God, go for that res. Oh my god. Yeah, this... So everyone's speaking German. I want to point this out. Pity there's no diva because there's no nerfed ass. So weird. It's so weird hearing the German voices. It seems pretty good. Like, it doesn't seem too awkward. Like, some dubs are really awkward, but I've heard Blizzard are pretty good at it. Nice. I would honestly, it sounds weird, but keep covering the Reaper during this. Because if you think about like what the enemy team's reaction to this is going to be, they're not going to shoot Reinhardt. They shouldn't be fighting the Reinhardt. Like, they're gonna go for the Reaper if they're gonna go for anything, so just maintain healing on him. And like, while Reaper's death blossoming and alive, the enemy team can't do anything. They have to play defensively for that duration. And then afterwards you can go for some healing, regroup with the team. Good, I like to see us going towards our team when we're being threatened. Stick with our team as much as possible. Good stuff. Goes Badman. This is the Zen not sticking with his team. Like, holding here, this is good. This is much better, because now suddenly, like, if you think about where the enemy can come from, they can come from here, 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 and here. If you're holding here, then the enemy, you know, they're all coming from the front. I remember watching a scrim, I think it was, and it was like, we had like a team holding here, and then they still came out here and killed everyone. It was very sad. That's just a matter of like scouting and vision, though. You can try and hold that corner, you just got to know exactly where the enemy is at all times. Okay, that's not very good. Makes me sad that no one else shot at him. Like, we were the only one doing it. Feels bad, man. She is so cheerful in German. Oh my god. She's so chirpy. Oh my god. Ooh, again, remember what we were saying earlier, putting yourself out of position is not necessarily a good idea. You could... Oh god, oh my god. Okay, no... That was a ride. Okay. Two things. So if you're going to commit this hard to an engagement... So Reaper going in here, that's one thing. So you damage amp him, you try and help him out and getting a couple of kills. If you're going to commit to following him through on this motion, you ult. Okay? You do not just dash into the middle of the team. You either let Reaper... like, leave Reaper to his fate and then try and peel back this way, or go all the way around maybe. You don't just dash into the middle of their team. Their team will just kill you. Or should just kill you. That's rough. Team should be back enough. Try and help this Brigitte. Okay. Again, just like realization that, okay, this Brigitte's peeling back. If we just peel forward and put some healing on her, she'll probably be okay actually. She has rally. So she should be fine. Holy shit! Look at him go! The hell launched his corpse? It's just a Reinhardt charge. He's bounced off the wall. Reinhardt still confirmed to be loaded with helium. Well, lol. Don't like this choice at all. Actually... it's just a right click. This makes me a little bit nervous that this is someone coming around the corner, in which case this is fine. Otherwise we should be trying to help this Reaper on the exfil. Reaper's gone nuts.
Still behind. He ran away.
Staying inside here is actually okay. This position here is a little bit safer than being out here, because if someone does come, like if the Hanzo pops out behind you, then you are vulnerable. Case in point.
Top left.
So like being underneath there is actually a little bit safer. But we have another case of the amazing Valkyrie and the never being used. Reaper can try and stall for this. Reaper's fucked up. You guys have lost the point. So this is just poor decision making on Reaper's part. So let's turn it into a learning example. If you're doing this, you're setting up to continue the fight here. Remember that the end of the point is like here. It's not like around the corner. It's literally before the corner. So the Reaper here has really one choice. Like the rest of the team is not going to catch up to him and not going to be able to join him by the time he gets there. So honestly, all this Reaper could probably do is jump down and Wraith form onto the point and stall it up for a second or two there. That might buy enough time for the Reinhardt and the Orisa to get to the point. Instead he goes to the left, and then this is just a waste. And you definitely don't want to be holding from here. Oh, heal beam. And people say you don't need to aim on Mercy. Lol. Feels bad, man. I know you want to go for it, and honestly, you could go for this one. Like, Hanzo's like here, you have a corner, you could go for that. Of all the times Bootio picks to like not go crazy, seems like the wrong one. McCree wants to make a play here. Learning to read body language, very important. If McCree's trying to get to this position, he's probably actually looking for a Deadeye. Like, this is where I'll be pressing tab and like checking, you know, is Deadeye ready? I haven't seen him use it. He probably has it. So what we should be doing is, like, you can facilitate this play. Enemy team's not going to make it to your team for a little while. Orisa barrier's a little distance away. Staying on the McCree there and setting him up so he could fight up here would be actually probably be alright. He probably still might die, but it's a sort of example of like his body language is clear that I want to get above and behind them to use this Deadeye, and then if you have an ultimate on that Deadeye, that's great. Hey, that's it. That's it. Good lad. Get stuck in.
Can you switch maker, please?
What do you prefer?
Another DPS.
Oh, I love this guy. I am in fucking love with this guy. Can you please switch? Okay, what to? I have no idea.
Soldier, maybe.
Okay. I will change when I do.
Okay.
Being honest with this team comp, Bastion would not be the worst thing in the world. Hey, two barriers
Welcome
that
to
ran us never landing back.
OneAmongstMany.
Hey, thank you so much. Denny Joe Williams, welcome. Beautiful use of that Twitch Prime sub. That's the sexy deep voiced McCree.
Behind Genji. Point.
I really don't see the issue with the Reaper, to be honest. Especially here on third. Reaper here does seem weird. When you're holding the corner, the Reaper is doing okay in terms of like you're playing around like this corner, and then actually let me. we ever turn that way. Like, Reaper can play from here, and so basically you can play from like here, 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 above, and like around this corner. And like playing from here and here is probably where you're going to do most of your playing. You can just play around the payload, basically. And if the enemy team wants to engage, and the enemy team's been engaging super hard, then Reaper's been really effective. I'd say like Junkrat would work better, just because you can just spam on the way in. Hanzo would also be fine just spamming on the way in. But Reaper can kind of work here. As long as the fights are getting sucked into like fighting here, then Reaper's going to be effective. What the enemy team should be doing is just clearing and just like set hands up on the high ground and just bully through, build up an ultimate, and then Dragon Strike and clear. And you'll probably lose straight away. With that is, mine ultimate is ready, is bereit. I'm fine with the Valkyrie.
Valkyrie behind.
This is stupid. Ooh, ooh, super HD. Oh, look how crisp it is. Oh, God, it's beautiful.
Valkyrie behind.
Betaubt. Du wirst von Alfred eliminiert. Yes. Just... I feel bad now because someone actually did set up a... Did actually set up a soundboard, but... Just, we have to like have a livable, teachable moment here.
Why would you do this?
Why? Look at this smug bitch. My God, falling in love all over again. Just look at that. Look at this face. Look at this. Can I like zoom? No, I can't zoom in on this. Just my God, perfection. Look at how, Jesus Christ. She's just so fucking smug. It's unbelievable. Yeah, this was just. We should have realized the moment it's a McCree, it's like, okay, we should back the fuck up. I don't care that you have Valkyrie. Fan the Hammer still kills the shit out of you. So it's like I'm actually playing Overwatch. It's so crisp and clear. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Indeed. Mercy. So yeah, that was us fucking up. Okay, they're engaging. They definitely want to go hard on this. Should be okay. Nice. Just keep this Reaper alive. Just keep him alive. There you go. Now you can worry about this.
Genji behind.
Last fight.
Good
stuff.
Nice, he did.
Good job.
Hello there, Demarty. So far, ultimate usage seems kind of bad. Decision making overall, a little bit shaky in places. Like, for the love of God, do not engage McCrees at close range. Please. Got lucky there was no enemy grab. The Zen using ult, it was the last fight anyway. It's okay. Why do people play Mei? I physically do not understand what drives a person to go, you know what I want to play the low damage, really annoying hero that everyone dislikes playing against and playing with. That's the hero I want to play.
Yes, I can try.
There we go. Mei is underrated. Look, after next patch, maybe. This patch, no. I would rather play with people that just kill people and do things and not annoy our own team.
Angriffsphase beginnt in 30 Sekunden. Ich werde unsere Feinde totrennen, wo sie es am wenigsten erwarten.
We have a pretty tanky team lineup. We're going to have to do most of the healing here because I think our other healer is a Brigitte. Yes, it is. So we're going to do a lot of the healing here. We are going to be 90% of the time focused on healing. The main reason why is because Brigitte is
They
really shit
Farah
at
we
doing
need
that.
someone to counter her.
Chill.
Let's be very careful going across this bridge. Okay, we can cross. Whoop. So why did I call across there? Just to really hammer it home. So they have an Orisa and a Farah, and someone calls out the Farah nice and early, which is
They
actually
Farah we need someone to
really
counter
nice.
her.
Chill.
So they call out the Farah. The Hulk goes off this side. That's the concussive blast. Okay. You now have about 6-7 seconds to cross this bridge. So coming up behind it would be fine. And then we end up doing like the Mercy hop. Give him in the back. Probably rest this. Yeah. It's a little bit risky, but Brigitte should have covered us during that, but hey, it's worth. It is worth.
There's another one.
Like either we die, and we have to wait for the Rhine to come back anyway, so that first push is done, or we succeed and then the first push continues. Maybe we succeed and die. You know, focus on healing. Just prioritize healing here. Support the soldier where possible. Keep an eye on this brig. We should be focusing on our team here. I know that we want to support the brig and what she's trying to do, especially when she gets to here and you see that she's okay. Like, she's chased the enemy off. This is where you turn around and you go straight back to healing your main tanks. Because again, Brigitte is not good at healing these tanks. Like, she cannot maintain the heal throughput that is necessary to keep them alive. So we want to be very focused on pumping healing into these guys. It'll also give us a very fast Valkyrie. Like, you can see that we have built up pretty quick. Hogs ulting. This is always a good time to support the Hog. When Hogs are ulting, they are basically pincushions because they can't use Take a Breath, so they are going to just take a lot of damage. We want to be doing hurt now. There it is. Oh, the knockback is so good. Oh, Farah, have a medal. It's coming home, chat. It is coming home, I believe. God, she's so cheerful. There's no glory in a stalled payload. There we go, good. Just keep an eye out for an actual engagement. If they make an actual engagement, we Valkyrie.
Soldier behind.
This is a good sign that we should probably be doing it. So, why do I say Valk here? Again, think in terms of the fight.
Soldier behind.
The moment this Transcendence goes off, the enemy's engaged. The enemy is fighting. Like, it's not even that Soldier's out of position. Like, this is not a plan by them. Soldier, you occupy their attention and then we'll engage super hard on the front line. It's more, okay, well, Soldier's a threat to worry about. Soldier is scary, we need to keep him in mind, because if he activates Visor, we're in trouble. But the enemy team is not going to just not engage on this. They are going to engage on this. Your team needs healing to survive this. This lasts twice as long, more than twice as long as this. Right? I'm pretty confident in that statement. I think this is 6 seconds. Valkyrie is 15. So it's like, there's no kind of reason not to. And any thoughts of like, well, if I don't, no one really needs healing now, so if I don't use it now and save 2 seconds, oh, then I'll have 2 seconds to use later. Get that shit out of your head. Get that shit right out of your head. Because all these people are probably going to be taking damage in a second. They're all going to need healing, and then if you activate it too late, then you've got problems, and we saw the problems. We died, right? We were on the ground, we were vulnerable, Farah came in and just barraged the shit out of us. It's a 15-second ultimate. By the time those 15 seconds are up, you've either won or lost the fight. Like, there's no way in hell that the fight lasts long enough for Valkyrie to go all the way through and not have some kind of useful throughput. So there's like, to me, there's no reason not to activate this. If he visors somehow, then what you do is you just duck in behind the Reinhardt, or you duck into one of these buildings. You probably do both. You just duck in behind the Reinhardt and then duck into the building. Yeah, the moment you see that Transcendence, you know that that's an engage. You know that that is a fight happening. So you need to do something about it. I'm fine with us using the dash to go through here. Keep an eye on the actual threats. I'm okay. I like okay, especially with Visor. You should be supporting Soldier. Oh god. A lot happened very quickly. I am fine with us Valkyrie to engage. It's fine. It's not the best timing, but it still kind of works. The big thing to realize here is that this guy's got Visor on, so we need to be like facilitating this Visor as much as possible. What ends up happening is like the Reinhardt just sort of muscles in and takes a shitload of damage, so then we're fine swapping to the Reinhardt healing art. But then we should be staying on this Reinhardt and pumping healing into him. As long as the enemy soldier doesn't Visor, we are safe. Nice.
Welcome to Overwatch,
I think that was
Monsilly.
sights. Good job getting into a good position here. You could honestly, yeah, okay, supporting the Roadhog is the correct decision here. Thank you, Roker, as well. 8 months with Twitch Prime. What a fantastic thing that Twitch Prime is. Imagine all the people who have Twitch Prime, all the things they could do with that Twitch Prime. It's amazing. Stay on the payload, don't worry too much about the Pharah. She's gonna have a really tough time killing you. Okay, no one's paying attention to the Pharah, feels bad, man. Good on you for trying. With those guys on the payload, yeah, you can run forward. Just to take the soldier a little bit. Soldier Mercy has always been a pretty strong combo. Not quite as good as Widow Mercy, but it's getting that.
Soldier behind. Top.
Again, I you know, it warms my heart. Oh my god, that pull! Holy shit, Roadhog, you freaking legend! Look at that, just out the sky. I want you to note as well how excited I am the fact that Mercy is dead. Right, it's such an important hero to kill.
Welcome to
Such a vital hero to kill.
Monsilly.
Hey, Mumpies!
Held and Sturban nicked.
Exactly.
Love.
Held and stabbed and nicked indeed.
Push them, push.
I thought that was a brass for a second, I got really worried. But notice how easy it is to win these fights when the Mercy is dead. Hey, nerf Das. There's something about it that is just so funny to me. It's just... I don't know what it... I think it's just how, like, seriously she says it. And I don't think, like, nerf this quite translates properly. Because it even sounds... It sounds not so much like nerf Das, it sounds like nerfed. Like, it sounds like this. Nerfed Das. It doesn't translate super well, so it just sounds really awkward. It's cheesy as fuck and I love it. Valking here would be fun, especially with this Reinhardt going low. Like, now would be okay. Again, why am I advocating the Valk? The fight is very much underway. This is one of the final fights for this point. You have 2 minutes, plenty of time to build up another ult as well. Fight is still ongoing. You guys can still win this. And so if you continue to survive and fight, you will actually be in a really good position. Notice that the 2 tanks are super vulnerable. Just a little bit earlier, and these guys would be super safe. Roadhog's now ulting as well. Hey, what a kill. Keep an eye on this Roadhog. Don't lose track of him. Whole Hog plus Mercy is actually a really big thing to keep track of. I'm fine with the res, as bizarre as it sounds. You can take a much more risky res when Valking than otherwise. The enemy doesn't really have good things to stop you from doing that. Like, D.Va's not going to stop you, Zen might, but he's kind of reloading, Orisa's not going to stop you, so it's fine. A little cramp in my armpit. Ugh. The addition of noob makes Brazilian D.Va 10 times better than English D.Va. It is actually... D.Va does say noob in English, but I think the only voice line which she says it is when at the start of a round she like goes, I'm going to own all of these noobs, and it's really cringy. Because no one talks like that anymore. Okay, they've just thrown. Get that res. Good. You guys should just win off this push. Like, this should be brain dead.
GG. On the payload! Genji behind!
Yes!
Honestly, be fine sticking with the
Genji
Genji.
behind!
Like, as panicked as you seem to be, like, just damage amping the Genji here and healing him, make sure the Dragon Blade is efficient. The Genji will be able to get back and you'll be able to follow him. just as quickly as you would.
Sieg.
In Portuguese, she says, "Ask for a nerf, noob." That's actually pretty good.
Highlight des Spiels.
Let's very briefly touch on this throw at the end. Sieg! Oh god, Gamescom is coming up, isn't it? What was they unveiling? I guess it's going to be another new map at Gamescom. I think Junkertown was the last one, and the May short, so I imagine they'll do the same again. So, why is this a throw? So, like, first and foremost, this isn't the greatest, but it's kind of okay if the fire kills a couple of people. This is just stupid. There is no way in hell this works. They still kind of have enough time, I think, to get a push out as well, so this just strikes me as like them dragging out the team fight and not realizing that they lost a previous fight, and then...
On the preload! Genji behind!
I love the panic in the voice.
Yes!
Oh, Sieg! Endstand. I don't know if that's actually correct. So in Dutch, just teach me languages, guys. In Dutch, you'll pronounce this Endstand. Like, the D will become a T. So, because at the end of words in Dutch, D's turn into T's. So it's Endstand. I don't know if that's correct in German. Or if it'll be Endstand. And then Mercy went for a Butea res, yeah. So I said that you won't be there, don't want to be there this year. It's not that I don't want to be there, it's that, like, unless Blizzard took me, and I don't see any reason why they would, especially that they're taking me to the finals, like, that basically, the way that Blizzard do things, just for Endstand. Really? Does this also become, like, a T? Like, I know it's a compound word, but in Dutch, I think that would just be end. Like, Endstand. Endstand. It sounds weird. I guess, like, German does like to, like, sneak H's in where they should be. Where they need to be. Anyway. So, the way that Blizzard do things is Blizzard, EU especially, like, EU's people are really good at doing this. And they keep track, especially of, like, the sort of, the group of streamers and like personalities that we have in Europe. So like you have like the S tiers, like Stye is like S tier, Valk's pretty high up there. Like Stye, Valk, people like that who are pretty big in Europe, have pretty big influence. Then you have like Overwatch Central is kind of in the middle. Then you have people like me, Queenie, Dynaflask. He went to BlizzCon. And so what they'll generally do is they'll try and take like one of the big guys. Stye generally goes to a lot of these events because he's just very popular. And then they'll try and take some of the smaller people as well. And so like they're taking me to this event coming up, the finals, and then it'll be someone else for Gamescom and stuff like that. But it's not worth it for me to go to the to go to Gamescom on my own. I went last year. It was a blast. It still cost me about £1,000 at the end of the day though. It was a lot of fun though. It was good. Come to learn German, come to learn Mercy, end up mastering German. I mean, she's Swiss, and I know she doesn't speak Swiss in the actual voice line. I saw people say like she sounds Swiss in this. Does she have a proper Swiss accent in the German dub at least? I imagine the Germans would be really sensitive to that.
I will change my name.
Like, I know I have an Austrian friend, and apparently he told me that Austrians sound like farmers. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, wanted to do the German dub for Terminator, and they refused him because he sounded like a yokel, basically. Like, Austrians sound like yokels or something. Anyway, I'm probably going to call it there, because like I mentioned at the start, I have something to be doing at 11, so I need to sort of get ready to do that. We did 2 VODs anyway, we did an hour and a half of coaching. Otherwise, she's not sounding Swiss? Okay. Feels bad, man. But otherwise, yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for Miranda and Swiss Butea for submitting the footage. Again, it's always a very brave thing to do. Hopefully this was something useful. The biggest thing by far that I saw, and like this is consistent across so many different people. Valkyrie. I got lost somewhere on spelling that, and I spelled it wrong. So, Valk, use it, for the love of Christ. Please use it. Are we looking for any particular heroes next? Yes. I'm not good at spelling. Okay, I got lost. I think I spelled Valkyrie. Sound very farmerish. Yeah. Because like when I think Austria, I don't think farms. I think like I think mountains and culture. Like that's what I think when I think Austria. Like I think Vienna and mountains, and that to me is like all of Austria. And I know that's unfair and that's probably not true at all, but that's what I think. Like I think concert halls, architecture, old city, tourist city, and then mountains all over the place. That's what I think. So yeah. Except the smug guys from Vienna. Okay, yeah. I really want to visit. Like one of my best friends lives in Austria, so I want to go visit at some point. They live in Vienna as well, so it's like perfect excuse to go and see it. I've been so many places in Europe. I've never been to Austria. I've driven through Austria. I've never been to Austria. All right, thank you guys for watching anyway. Thank you for those of you who supported the stream as well. As always, it is massively appreciated. Keeps me going, keeps the VOD reviews going as well. So thank you to Mumphies, Oralka, Danny Joe Williams, Banshee, Officer, Doppus, Mr. Numeric, of course, as Retha. Earlier today as well, apparently Myrd, M-R-Y-D as well subbed. So thank you so much for that. Which heroes? Any kind of heroes you want. Probably not Reinhardt. We did a bunch of Reinhardt lately, but other than that, go nuts. Go frickin' nuts. Probably not Wrecking Ball. Probably not Symmetra. I don't think anyone knows how to play Symmetra at the moment. I don't think I could teach you too much. We could probably look at some sim footage, actually. Nibelung, yeah, like, Nibelung could probably send some in, and we can take a look at it. But again, it will be typical of when a new hero comes out. We will look at it and try and figure out what is working, what isn't working, how it's working, stuff like that. So it's more of like a, let's go in and, like, do a kind of see how it goes, and then figure it out. No, Reinhardt, yeah, I'm sorry, Ruroll. So, yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm in time, says Gohan. You are in perfect time to see the end of the stream. Feels bad. Rauka? Be quiet, Roka. Be very quiet. Just to finish out as well. Just, God. Just look at how smug. Jesus. Good Lord. It's just so smug. My heart can't take it.